Just how much more am I going to have to pay over the contract price to buy my house? Hi, I'm Stephanie Lankowski and I sell residential real estate in Destin, Florida. Oftentimes, buying a house is such a huge financial investment that we solely focus on the purchase price of the house and we forget to count the proverbial, it's a hard word to say, proverbial pennies of the actual expenses being paid to make this mortgage, this closing happen. So today we're talking about how to calculate your closing costs. First and foremost, what are closing costs? Well, once the buyer and seller come to an agreement on a home purchase price and you're under contract, there is a host of events that have to occur before you get to that closing table, which is estimated about 45 days after you're under contract. A ton of events that have to occur to transfer the legal ownership from the old owners to the new owners. All of these events that occur are massive collaboration of a bunch of service providers, like for instance, yours truly, your real estate agent and your mortgage lender, your title company, your real estate lawyer. You've got inspectors, appraisers, a host of different things of people that have to work together to bring you to the closing table, and it is all gonna cost you some money. Closing costs are different for each and every real estate transaction. It's going to depend on the area that you're buying in, the state, the mortgage lender you're using, the type of loan that you're taking, whether you're paying cash. Everyone is going to be different. So when we go into a real estate transaction, we're going to tell you to be prepared to pay between 3 and 6% of that purchase price in closing costs. Now, there's going to be a couple of instances that you're going to get estimate. One, I'm going to show you in this video how you can start working down that trail to how much you're going to have to pay. But within 3 days of making your loan application with your lender, they're required by law to give you an estimate. So you're going to go under contract, you're going to pay your EMD deposit, and you're going to make your application within the first 5 days with your lender. After you get that application in, you're going to get an estimate that tells you what they assume you're going to pay. So then 3 days prior to your closing date, 3 business days, the lender is required by law to give you a closing disclosure. And in that closing disclosure, there's going to be a column of that original estimate of closing costs and the actual cost of what you're going to have to pay at the closing table. So with all of that said, you are going to have to be a little bit of an investigator to figure out your closing costs. We're here as your real estate agents to help you. I want to go ahead and say I am not a professional mortgage lender nor title agent. I am not an expert in running these fees. However, I do have lots of resources, and that's where I'm going to be your best advocate, is pointing you towards resources of how to find the answers together. So your number one resource for figuring out your closing costs is in black and white on your residential contract that you have signed in your purchase agreement. So while these are totally negotiable, traditionally in Florida, a seller will pay doc stamps on the deed, owner's policy, title search, liens, charges for FERPTA, HOA and condo association estoppels, recording fees, and title cures, seller's attorney's fees, general repairs, wood destroying organisms, repair, and any permits that need to be closed. So traditional buyer's cost in Florida are the taxes and recording fees for the deed, owner's policy, survey, unless there's one that already exists, a lender's title policy, HOA and condo application fees, perhaps the lien search, loan expenses, appraisal fees, buyer's inspections, buyer's attorney's fees, and property insurance. So once the contract is negotiated and you know the real estate commission that is being paid, you know what of the specific closing cost you as the buyer or seller are going to pay, and you've had a very detailed discussion with your mortgage lender about the fees to generate the loan that you're taking or the points that you're going to be adding to it, what have you, and maybe you're going to be wrapping in your closing cost into your loan. You've had these conversations, then let's just make it easy and use a local closing cost calculator. Local. So the reason I say use local is because there's a lot of fees based on your county that you're going to be paying, and our local title company that we use, Parath & Associates, have resources on their website that just lay it out in a really beautiful graph of what those doc stamp on the deed fees are. Instead of having to search through a property appraiser's website to find that information, we just use their resource. So here's a quick video on how to use the mortgage calculator that we use locally from Taylor Allen Properties. So now that we have all of our research taken care of, we have general estimates of our mortgage, our real estate commission fees, what closing costs we're paying, then make it easy. Go and find your local title company. Your real estate agent should have someone to suggest for you, and they are going to have all of the fees listed for you on their website. For instance, here we have Parath & Associates, which is our preferred lender at Taylor Allen Properties. They have all the title insurance rates written out for you. And then they have a lot of the local by county fees. And then they have it in their closing cost calculator. You click on your closing cost calculator, and I'm going to click over here because I've already got it preset. And voila, they have it all calculated for you based on these local fee prices. So if you assume a $500,000 purchase price, we're going to say that our loan amount is $400,000 because we have put down 20% to avoid our PMI insurance. So our mortgage is $400,000. We're going to pay a real estate commission of 6%. And then we push this magical calculate button, and it gives us a general estimate of those traditional fees that are going to be at the closing table. You can change these buttons because, again, all things are negotiable, right? And you can change who is going to be paying the total down here, your buyer total and your seller total. Now, this is not all inclusive, okay? You're going to have other expenses. For instance, your total mortgage fees. I entered this cost in here assuming that you were going to pay $4,000 in lender fees or point origination fees. That's where you're going to have to do that communication with your lender to bring to a calculator. And then things like an inspection are not included on here. Also, you're going to want to know that in Florida, you have to have a home insurance policy at the closing table, and that home insurance policy may require that you not just have a home inspection, they may also require 4-point inspection and a wind mitt inspection for the roof because of hurricanes. So this is where that team of people are going to come together and tell you exactly what's going to be expected at that closing table, but also this is where you're going to need to keep your mind open of that sliding scale of estimates, the umbrella of costs that could fall into closing cost. Closing cost, they are a general estimation. Budget accordingly 3 to 6% of your purchase price, and don't be caught off guard when you come to the closing table. You're going to be ready. Jen and I post new videos every Thursday on all things Destin, Florida real estate. See you then.